There's 2 eagles that sit up there. There's all kinds of wildlife out here. Nobody bugs me. It's just this. And I would work day and night just to be able to just be out here.
When we do restoration projects, we are essentially building up the strength of our culture again. Our environment needs to thrive.
Feature people that are really on the ground, subjects that are really invested in the issues. And I thought that this piece really had a variety of subjects that showed the importance of sort of reintegrating the environment or restoring the environment, and trying to explain like how things have gotten to this point, and what's really required to change things, and how big of a scale that requirement is. And I thought that the people at the center of the piece really gave a good sort of, not just sort of academic explanation, but an emotional appeal to why it's so important for these changes to be implemented. So I thought that the piece was obviously filled with a lot of striking images in terms of nature and wildlife that worked really well. It had a strong sort of pacing and editing component, but I thought that most importantly, the people in the center of the piece really gave a strong emotional component to what was going on that lets you sort of become emotionally invested in their mission and understand the importance of it.
Being a good steward to the land ends up restoring hope and culture. One of my favorite parts and a strength of this short is that it is driven by Native and Indigenous voices who are advocating for land restoration, which ends up benefiting everyone. And we see this realized when we look at like the incredible B-roll that's put throughout the film that really emphasizes the restoration and the labor that's been done to restore nature. And I think it's very moving and it's a very hopeful approach to understand how we can undo some of the damage that has been done to the land through corporations, and how we can work together, especially with Native and Indigenous perspectives, to do more of that restoration.
I think it's interesting because a lot of times with environmental pieces, it is, it's almost like doom scrolling sometimes. And I think this piece highlights, the fact that there are restorative processes out there that we can face. And I think it's so important that these stories are coming from Native voices because, Indigenous peoples are so knowledgeable about the land and how to take care of it and how to coexist with our environment and the world. And I think highlighting their voices for the specific environmental restoration is incredibly smart and incredibly impactful. And I think this was done very well in doing that. I think the story, the language that they used was approachable.
The Indigenous people taking pride in restoring the land as we know it. We have this person who comes in and she speaks and she says that the path of restoration means building the strength of our culture again, taking these perspectives in order to serve the people as we find these means of destruction that we cause onto the earth, that we must take action to rebuild. And that's exactly what's happening here. You see this path of us seeing this family who is cleaning waters and having their own shellfish business. And it wouldn't be possible if it weren't for this community coming in and cleaning this area, this body of water. And you see them take an appreciation for nature and see this moment where they get to appreciate the trees and know and recognize that we use these entities in order to build our world. So we should take a moment to appreciate, but also we have to rebuild from our systemic issues. And that's exactly what this community is being able to do here, and being able to kind of stand on their own without the US government.
This is lovely to watch with people in Washington as they work collaboratively in finding ways to progress as a society, but mindful of our impacts to nature, especially the negative ones. The restoration and cleanup projects they showcase are very interesting, and they set great examples of what's possible if you put your minds to it and your hard work too. Sustainability and stewardship for upcoming 7 generations. That's just a beautiful concept. And when we have the scenery of the creeks, the mountains, trees, these beautiful testimonials and close-ups of the people that care about the shellfish and the salmon and the very delicate balance that this specific species hold and how they are struggling to survive in man-made toxic environment.
It's really about nation building, and that means building enterprise for yourself, so that you don't have to rely on the government, not in a conservative handout way, but just in like a self-reliant, self-pride way. Um, I think that I really rocked with when they said that. And this is, I always say a documentary rides and dies on the subject matter, and it's a subject matter that, like, me personally, being from Texas, being 25 or whatever, I really don't know that much, haven't been exposed to that much about Native American culture. So this was very all new to me and very interesting. And and the documentary was effective in that it brought me in and it made me care and all of that. Um, and yeah, and how it was, and like finding the balance, not just like finding the balance between enterprise and conservation.
So they believe the Creator put everything on earth for us, and it's our job to be stewards over the earth, to take care of what He provided for us. I love that. It's one of the things that I truly believe in, and it's nice to hear that other people do as well, that we are given everything we need. I also love that they are admitting that they're incorporating in Western science to keep Jamestown alive and rebuilding it and restoring it from some of the climate damages. It's This documentary absolutely had everything in it. It had the history with the people, with what they're doing to preserve it, everything that you need. Even though it was only about 7 minutes, it had everything necessary to learn that you needed for this. It's something that could probably be played in their tourist center, since it was one of the first settled towns. It's something that should be in it for people to sit down, watch before they take a tour of Jamestown, maybe see what the efforts are being. It's amazing what these people are doing.